17 Netanyahu will hold talks with Putin later in the day. The visit comes just a day after the U.S. president announced exit from the Iran nuclear agreement, as well as following an Israeli airstrike in Syria. 109 The 5th of September 2018 Dramatic footage of some destroyed compounds in the suburbs of Syria's capital of Damascus after a purported Israeli airstrike has appeared on the internet. According to eyewitnesses, the recent attacks caused extensive damage to local infrastructure. At least 2 persons have been reported dead so far, Syrian news agency SANA said on Wednesday. Read more. 11:17 Putin greets and thanks the veterans. 11 to 1511:09 Glory to veterans of the 1941 to 1945 Great Patriotic War. Long live the 73rd anniversary of the Great Victory. Hooray! 11:07 Servicemen are now leaving Red Square to the accompaniment of the Farewell of Slavyanka March. 11:06 We are hearing the joint performance of servicemen from the 154th Separate Commandant Preobrazhensky Regiment, cadets of the Moscow General Kalilov Military Music School and musicians from the Parade Orchestra of the Moscow Garrison. 11:04 Its creation was announced by President Vladimir Putin in March in order to ensure the global nuclear parity. 16:20 The 5th of May 2018 Moscow, Sputnik 10 MiG-31 interceptors, NATO reporting name, Foxhound, with Kinzhal, Dagger, hypersonic missiles able to penetrate air defense are on trial combat duty and ready for use, Russian Deputy Defense Minister Yuri Borisov said. Read more. 11:0411:03 The famous Ruskia Vityasi and Strizzy aerobatic teams in groups of Su-35 Sam and MiG-29 fighters are currently in the sky. 11:0316:32 The 3rd of January 2018 The Russian Defense Ministry has commented on President Putin's annual State of the Nation address to the bicameral parliament, the Federal Assembly, to a large extent devoted to the country's success in the military sphere. Read more. 11:02 Now we can see the flyover of a group of the Su-34 fighter bombers. 11:02 A group of the MiG-31 supersonic interceptor aircraft is flying over the Red Square. 11:02 Another 4 warplanes currently flying over Red Square are the frontline bombers Su-24M. 11:02 4 MiG-29 SMT light fighter jets are now flying over Red Square. 11:02 flying over Red Square is a group of 3 Il-76 MD modernized military transport vehicles. 11:01 A squadron of 5 planes of the Russian long-range Air Force is flying in close formation over Moscow's Red Square. 11 o'clock The Russian Armed Forces combat helicopters are represented by the modernized Mi-24P. 11 o'clock The Russian Armed Forces combat helicopters are represented by the modernized Mi-24P. 10:59 The flying altitude of the helicopters is 150 meters, with speeds of 200 kilometers per hour. The Mi-26's cargo capacity stands at 20 tons. The Army Aviation is represented by the Burkutty aerobatic team with their Mi-28H Night Hunter attack helicopters. 5910-59 An advanced boomerang amphibious wheeled armored personnel carrier enters Red Square, bearing the flags of the Russian Armed Forces. 10:58 The Yars units remain the backbone of the mobile group of Russia's nuclear forces. 10:58 Its special vehicles include TIGR Patrol and Ural armored cars. 10:58 The remote robotic demining system Uran-6, and the fire support robotic system Uran-9, as well as the unmanned aerial vehicles Katrin and Corsair, which were successfully tested in Syria, join the parade. 10:57 The S-400's combat characteristics remain second to none as compared with other missile defense systems. It is capable of destroying both current and advanced means of air and space attack. 5614-47 The 17th of April 2018 The Russian Defense Ministry earlier reported that Panzer S-1 systems have shown near 100% efficiency during the US, UK and French strike against Syria, when 71 out of 103 missiles were intercepted. Sputnik reveals why the Panzer system is so effective. Read more. 10:54 Air defense units of the 4th Guards Kantemirovskaya Tank Division enter Red Square. The Tour M2 system is taking part in the parade for the first time. The new generation of anti-aircraft systems reliably protects tank crews when they are on the march or in combat. 1053 Thanks to its unique technical characteristics, the systems can be used for launching high precise and deadly strikes. 1154 The 3rd of May 2018, the Iskander-M is Russian short-range ballistic missile system, equipped with supersonic, guided nuclear-capable missiles which have a range of up to 500 kilometers and are fully controlled at every stage of their flight path. Read more. 1053 The 147th Simferopol Red Banner Regiment, which includes the Koalitia SP and the MSTAS 152mm self-propelled howitzers, enters the Red Square. 1052 Stepping on the cobblestones is a parade unit of the 106th Tula Red Banner Guards Airborne Division, decorated with the Order of Kutuzov. 1051 The motorcade consists of the modern generation of Russian armored vehicles, such as the T-14 Armata tank, the main battle tank T-72B3 and the tank support vehicle Terminator .10. 49 A motorcade of armored vehicles of enhanced protection, the Typhoon K and the TIGRM, from the military police of the Russian Defense Ministry is passing by. The motorcade is followed by a parade of infantry fighting vehicles designed for providing fire support to motorized rifle divisions. 10. 4910 to 47 The Kremlin cadets are completing the parade. First part. 10 to 4674 years ago, the brigade's personnel along with other units seized Mount Stopin and liberated the city of Sevastopol. 1045 Personnel of the legendary 4th Guards Kantemarovskaya Tank Division, named after Yuri Andropov, walk across Red Square. 1044 Troops of the Russian Western Military District are represented by servicemen from the Moscow garrison. 10 to 4410 44A parade unit of the Saratov Military Institute with National Guards troops is taking part in the parade for the first time. 1043 During the Second World War, the division was involved in the defense of Moscow and the Caucasus. 1042 The ministry units remain on heightened alert every day, and they are ready to successfully fulfill search and rescue operations when grappling with emergency situations in Russia and beyond. 1042 Railway troops are joining the parade. 1041 Parade unit of the Marshal Timoshenko Military Academy of nuclear, chemical and biological protection is marching on the Red Square. 1041 Right now, the military police jointly with their colleagues successfully implement combat and special tasks to maintain security and order in the cities and settlements in Syria. 1040 Servicemen of the 331st Kostroma-based Guards Airborne Regiment are marching through Red Square. 1039 For the first time in Russia's modern history, the Ryazan Higher Airborne Command School, which marks its 100th anniversary this year, has been decorated with a Guards title for its graduates' heroism, selflessness and courage. 1038 The Academy prepares officers for operating all types of modern and advanced Russian missile systems, including Yars and Sarmat. 1037 Female graduates of military educational establishments hold posts of military translators and communication specialists, also working in logistics and financial services. 1331 The 5th of September 2017 A battalion of female cadets in their skimpy uniforms traditionally turned heads as they marched on Moscow's central Red Square during the Victory Day parade on Tuesday. Read more. 1037 Since the Second World War, the Marines' motto has been, "The victory is where we are." 1036 Marines of the 336th Separate Guards Brigade of the Baltic Fleet join the parade. 1035 Cadets of the Nagamov Black Sea Maritime School are entering Red Square. 1035 Cadets of the Admiral Yushakov Baltic Maritime Institute and the Naval Polytechnic Institute are taking part in the parade. 1034 The Academy prepares military engineering personnel for the Russian Army and other law enforcement agencies. 1034 Right now, the Academy's graduates continue the traditions of senior generations and implement tasks related to fighting terrorism in Syria and other hot spots. 1033 They are followed by cadets of the Krulev Logistics Military Academy. 1032 It prepares officers for the ground and airborne troops as well as Navy and for all types of anti-aircraft systems. 1032 The university remains Russia's only higher military, humanitarian, educational and scientific center for training officers. The renowned university is approaching its 100th anniversary, and continues to improve its educational processes by using the most innovative modern technology. 1031 Entering the square are attendees of the Military Academy of the Russian Armed Forces, which is commemorating the 100th anniversary of its foundation this year. The parade unit is headed by the Academy's headmaster Lieutenant General Alexei Avdeyev. 1030 The unit, created at the initiative of the Russian Defense Ministry, is active all regions of Russia and includes more than 20,000 boys and girls in its ranks. It is headed by Olympic champion Dmitry Trunenkov, the head of the general staff of the movement. 1030 Cadets, the Sevastopol-based Nagamov Navy School, are entering the Red Square. 1029 The past 75 years have seen more than 16,000 boys proudly wearing scarlet shoulder boards and announcing themselves as cadets of the Suvorov Military School. 1028 A company of the Moscow Suvorov Military School under the command of Colonel Igor Yekimov are marching on the Red Square. 1028 The banner unit is accompanied by a silent drill company, which includes ground troops, aerospace forces and Navy. 1027 units holding the banner of victory, state flag of the Russian Federation, and the banner of the Russian Armed Forces are passing by. 1026 Young musicians define the tempo and rhythm of parade units. 1024 Russian national anthem marks the beginning of the Victory Day Parade. 2311 to 30 The 5th of May 2015 Attempts to rewrite history and justify Nazis and their collaborators are absolutely intolerable, President Vladimir Putin said in a message to participants in a conference on the Soviet and Chinese role in defeating German Nazism and Japanese militarism during World War II. Read more. 1020 The Russian President announces minute of silence to honor those who died during the Great Patriotic War. 1019 All nations understood that Nazism was defeated due to the Soviet soldier. However, now, attempts are being made to rewrite the history. We will do everything to keep this memory. We will always be proud that the USSR did not bow when other countries decided to capitulate. 1510 to 14 Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu completes the inspection of troops and moves towards the Central Reviewing Stand to report to Russian President Vladimir Putin, Commander-in-Chief of the Russian Armed Forces. 1010 The Defense Minister also welcomed the youngest participants of the parade, cadets of the Suvorov and Nagamov military schools as well as members of the Russian Military Patriotic Movement Unimedia, Young Army. 1009 Military hardware and aircraft from all branches of the Russian Armed Forces as well as the parade groups of other law enforcement agencies. 1006 Ground troops will be the first to be hailed by General Shoigu. 1006 General of the Russian Ground Troops, Colonel Gen. Oleg Salikov is commanding the parade. 1004 Their unprecedented heroism and courage during the defense of Brest, Odessa, Sevastopol, Smolensk, Tula, Leningrad, Moscow and Stalingrad thwarted Hitler's blitzkrieg and related plans to defeat the Soviet Union. Those who worked in wartime industry contributed considerably to the victory. Their selfless toil helped restore production in record time and provide the Red Army with the necessary amount of military hardware and ammunition. 1001 The national flag of the Russian Federation and the victory banner of the 1941 to 1945 Great Patriotic War are brought into Red Square by Sergeant Anton Mikhailov and Junior Sergeant Alexei Fokiev from the 154th Independent Commandant's Preobrazhensky Regiment. 1001 The parade marks the 73rd anniversary of victory in the 1941 to 1945 Great Patriotic War. 925 The 5th of September 2018 Moscow, Sputnik. On Wednesday, May 9th, Russia is marking the 73rd anniversary of the victory over Nazi Germany in the Great Patriotic War of 1941 to 1945. Read more. 10/00/14/27 The 5th of June 2018 Moscow is gearing up to hold a massive parade dedicated to the anniversary of the Allies' victory against the Nazis in the European theater of World War II. As tradition dictates, the Russian military will show off some of its latest and greatest hardware. Sputnik rounds up the top 6 pieces of military equipment to keep an eye on. Read more.